Alright, here it is. Episode 9, of Munchkin Dungeon. We're doing the net troll. If this is your first time stopping in, thanks for coming in. Thanks for checking us out here at Nerd Nights Painting. We really appreciate it, even though it's just me. My wife supports me, I guess. Anyways, we're going to be turning this ugly piece of light brown model into this look. Oh, God, look how beautiful that is with some easy steps. If this is your first time watching, man, go and hit that subscribe button. Let's go. Come on. Let's make this channel even bigger than what it is, even though we only have 109 followers as I'm filming this. Let's get to whatever. 150. Let's go. Spread the word. Post it on a forum. Tell your friends. Be like, oh, man, this guy's like okay at painting, like mediocre at best. But whatever. We're going to be using the card provided in the game, and we're going to be following that. We're going to be using an airbrush, but you can brush it on if you want. It's kind of the same thing, but we'll get to that. All right, so let's go. All right, for our airbrushers, we're going to be using the surface primer for the airbrush. If you got Corax white or some other type of white flat spray, use that. I'm just going to be using the airbrush because I'm going to be airbrushing this guy. So I'm using the surface primer, naturally. First color we're going to be using is the little Mournfang Brown Citadel. Spraying it down. If you want to spray the feet or paint the feet, Cadian Fleshtone beforehand, I did that, and I ended up cutting it out of the video because it was stupid, because I ended up getting a lot of the brown on the feet. So just hit that thing with all brown. Now you can paint this on, make sure you're thinning your paints using a wet palette. And we're going to hit it with a lighter color here in a second, but just hit that whole model, cover the whole dang thing, you know? Using that airbrush, Deathclaw Brown from above. Start getting those highlights from above. If you're painting it on, thin paint from above and just try and keep some of the recesses at the bottom dark brown. But hit that with the Deathclaw Brown from above, and it should make a nice little tone here in a second, and then we're going to do an extra little bit of highlight. Mix a little Deathclaw Brown in with that Ivory, so about a 50-50, and that's going to even give you a lighter tone. We're going to spray that on. Now if you're painting, just paint it on normally, thin your paint. You might need a couple layers, but it'll give you a nice little lighter tone. Now the base colors on the actual model are done. We're going to be using white. I'm using model color, but if you got something else, like from Citadel, use that. Pretty easy. And if you get a little bit in the crevice, that's completely cool because we're going to be using the Nulin Oil technique here in a second. So don't worry about it. For the hands and feet, Cadian Fleshtone. Slap that on. Just cruise around on it. Not a big deal. Just make sure you get the feet as well. And if you get some on the base, who cares? We're going to be going over here in a little bit anyways. It's super easy. And let's just get that put on there. Alright, doing some shades. We're going to start with the hands and feet. Little Reikland Fleshshade. Make sure we're getting them in the crevices. That's what the whole point of it is. So when we go back over with the paint, you got some of that shadow depth in there. So hit those both up, and if you get a little bit on the underside, that's cool. Try not to get it on the arms or the back. So just be a little bit careful on that. For the eyes, get a nice little healthy drop of that Nulin Oil, and it'll fill in the recesses of itself. It's like magic. It's like Lance Burton, David Copperfield, or David Blaine, or whoever. Yeah, whatever. Using a little black. whatever black you got, it doesn't matter, on the eyebrows. Now, use a smaller brush and just kind of hit those edges, kind of scrape those edges, and that'll get you what you need to do. Then you're going to need to go on the top and fill in the top portion of the eyebrow. Just take the smallest brush. I'm using a size 10-0 brush and just hitting that. Hey, while you're here and you're watching this video and you're saying, oh man, this guy kind of knows what he's talking about, he's really mediocre at best, hit that subscribe button real quick. Just do me a favor, hit it. And hit that little bell too, so whenever the new videos are popping up once or twice a week, you're like, oh man, I really want to know how to learn how to paint this mini. Not, but just do it anyway. And that's all we're doing. Just go and hit those, and then we're going to be doing the mouth. Same thing. Take your time on that mouth. Again, size 10-0 brush, and we're just hitting that mouth and just being real careful to get in that crevice. Alright, we're going to start working on the pocket. Now this takes a steady hand, so get your elbows on that desk and get a nice platform. Roll your shoulders in, kind of squeeze together to get that nice little platform. You're going to make an outline of the top portion, and then we're going to do a dotted line around the bottom to the other side of the pocket. So just follow what I'm doing in the video and take your time. Don't try and rush it. Size 10-0 brush and you'll be doing just fine. For the right pencil, little Averland Sunset. The top portion is going to be an eraser because he's a nerd net troll is what I call him. So just leave that portion there. For the pen, we're using a base color of Caliban Green. Just real quick, hit that whole thing. It's kind of like a, like a nerd pen, I guess. Whatever. For the top of the eraser, we are doing Screamer Pink, and we're going to put a highlight here on it in a second. Hey, while you're doing that and you're watching this video, go over to my Instagram, nerd.nights, where I typically post the next mini that's coming up that I'm making a video for to give you kind of a preview of my story. Go ahead and check that out. We're always posting new stuff, things that are going on. So go ahead and do that while you got a second. To brighten up that pencil to make it look like a real life number 2 school pencil, we're going to be using a little Flash Glitz yellow and just hitting it. Make sure you hit those sides in the front, and then if you want to dumb down that black line that you might have got too much on, you can do that right there. And for the pen, we're just going to go over it again with a little Sotek Green. Leave a little bit of that blue, the Caliban Green that we did before. So it kind of gives it a little bit of contrast, look real nice. And the final portion of the eraser is going to be little Emperor's Children. Make it look just like a pencil from school. Pretty cool. Alright, we're going to go back over the eyes with the white and just clean it up as best as you can. And if you get a little bit of white inside the pupil, that's not a problem. We're just going to take some black and we'll clean it up here in a second. If you want to make those pupils a little bit bigger, or you think you got too much white in there, if you want to make them more circular, just take some of that black and go ahead and just kind of get on the inside of the pupils. Inside of the ears, we're going to be using a little Nulin Oil. So if you look at the card, it's got some shadowing going on the ears. I wasn't going to do it, but this is a pretty simple technique. It's still going to get some of that brown to poke through. It's going to look pretty decent. Just get a nice little healthy spoonful and just kind of plop it down. If you want to make it perpendicular to where you're sitting and plop it in there, kind of let it sit in there for a second, you can do that, and that's what I ended up doing. All right, the one and only highlight to the hands and feet, we're going to use a little KislevFlesh. As you can tell on the card, his tone between his actual fur and his hands and feet, well, you can't see the hands on the card, but the feet are pretty light compared to each other. So we're going to go straight into KislevFlesh, and we're just going to lighten that up. It's going to probably take 2 to 3 coats on this, and it'll make it look real nice once you're done with it. Make a nice little contrast. The completion step, a little Mechanicus standard gray, getting it done. If you want to paint it a different color, black or purple or whatever you want to do, that's up to you. I just like gray because it's so whatever. And yeah, look at that. Ooh, pretty fancy. And that's it, we're done. Look how good you did. You did a fantastic job. Guarantee your door's gonna start getting broken down now. Women are going, oh my gosh, she's so awesome. Or dudes are like, oh, you're so great. Look how good of a painter you are. I just want to make out with you. That's probably never gonna happen, but it does in my head. As always, thank you again for watching. I can't appreciate the support we're getting in the comments and likes and everything else that's happening so far in this channel as we started it. Like I said before, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We're doing new videos all the time. And if you're over on the Instagram and you want to check out our page and subscribe to the page, you go to nerd.nights, as we're always posting new stuff. And I put in my story what we're doing next. So thanks for everybody watching, and paint on.